Hello everyone and welcome. Today I'm going to talk about why I sold my J.R.R. Tolkien collection. If you have watched my previous bookshelf tours and my review videos on my Tolkien books, you know that I owned a fair bit of the Tolkien deluxe editions from HarperCollins. And a while ago I decided to sell all of my collection, actually. Every single Tolkien book that I owned. And all of them were from HarperCollins, the publisher, I believe. So, why did I decide to sell all of my Tolkien collection? That's what I'm going to talk about today, and I'm going to talk about some issues I have with the publisher HarperCollins and my own opinions on the world of J.R.R. Tolkien and all of that. So, hope you will enjoy this video. So firstly, I can say that J.R.R. Tolkien is the author that got me into reading books, I believe, or reading books in my late teens at least. With The Hobbit is what I read first, then I read The Lord of the Rings, and then I read Silmarillion. So, of course, like most people, after having read those books, I got really into the world of J.R.R. Tolkien, and I decided to start collecting the deluxe editions. And I got the Alan Lee illustrated deluxe edition from HarperCollins, the blue one with the cloth binding, and then I got, I think, 6 other deluxe edition from the standard hardcover deluxe edition series from HarperCollins, those with the slipcase, and you can see an image right here what I mean. So I owned The Silmarillion, The Hobbit, Unfinished Tales, The Story of Kullervo, Letters from Father Christmas as well. I think those were the books that I owned in the deluxe edition format from HarperCollins. But some time ago I decided to sell all of those books, and the reason for that is HarperCollins has put out, I think, over 20 deluxe editions by now, and they all cost a fair bit of money. And I don't really find that I'm too much interested in the world of J.R.R. Tolkien outside of The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings and The Silmarillion. So justifying the cost of those deluxe edition and paying for that whole collection isn't really something I was interested in, because my interest in J.R.R. Tolkien's world didn't stretch beyond his main works of The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit and The Silmarillion. I really appreciate all that Christopher Tolkien has done, and I really like that HarperCollins gives us the chance to explore the world of J.R.R. Tolkien with those books, and I know that they have published standard edition as well. But my main interest lies in those polished, finished works by J.R.R. Tolkien. So that's one of the reasons, the high cost of the deluxe editions and all of that. And another reason that I decided to sell my Tolkien books were that the quality wasn't really there with the deluxe editions. They were bound in paper, and I liked the design and all of that, but they started off with their deluxe editions, printing them in Italy, I believe, and then they moved to China. I'm not sure where they print their books now, where they print the deluxe editions now, but I had noticed that most of the deluxe editions I owned by HarperCollins all had a terribly tight binding. I remember while reading The Silmarillion, each time it was really annoying to read it, because it just didn't open up at all. It was so tight. So you really had to hold the book open to even get a chance to read it. It was worse even than like a paperback opens up better than what that book did. And I think it was printed in China, but it might have been printed in Italy. But all of those books had the same problem of a really tight binding. And when you're paying that amount of money for a deluxe edition, at least I want the book to open up just like a normal book should. You should be able to lay it flat on the table without having to really hold the book open. And that was something that really annoyed me with the HarperCollins deluxe editions. I felt that they didn't really put any thought into that. And also, I don't know how to explain it, but I felt that they lack the soul of J.R.R. Tolkien, and I really started to feel like HarperCollins put out these deluxe editions to just make more and more money without putting in much thought and care into the books themselves, making them feel like they didn't have I like to say that some books have a soul and some books definitely don't have a soul. And I started feeling like those HarperCollins editions didn't really have a soul. And that's really important to me, that thought and care and love has been put into the work. I know that Christopher Tolkien, of course, has put in so much thought and care and love in his work, but I feel like the publisher HarperCollins didn't really do that. So that was another issue with me. So those were the two main reasons for why I sold my Tolkien collection. My interest didn't really extend beyond the main works of J.R.R. Tolkien, and the deluxe editions are too expensive and not to the quality that I would like them to be for me to continue collecting them. So what should I do now is the question. I have sold all of my Tolkien collection, but I still want to own the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit and the Silmarillion, but not from HarperCollins. So my options are quite limited. I've been thinking about the standard edition from the Folio Society, because they collect the three works in the same series, so that's really nice. And they have separated the Lord of the Rings into 3 books as well, which I really like. It's much easier to read it that way. So the standard Folio Society edition might be what I will go for in the future, but I'm not sure. I'm still waiting for something to just pop out from nowhere, an edition of the 3 works that I would really enjoy, but I'm not sure. The limited edition from the Folio Society that they published quite recently just wasn't for me at all. Firstly, the price was way too high, and I really didn't like the binding design. I really like Alan Lee, but it didn't feel unique enough to even consider buying that edition of The Lord of the Rings from the Folio Society, the limited edition. I used to own the HarperCollins Alan Lee illustrated edition, but just couldn't get myself to even consider buying that limited edition from the Folio Society. Perhaps if they had made it with another illustrator, perhaps Ted Nasmith, in a smaller binding, a different binding design, then perhaps I would have considered it. But I'm not looking for an expensive limited edition for my collection for J.R.R. Tolkien. I would like something a bit more affordable, and I would like to have the 3 works in a similar series at least. So, do any of you own the Full Society standard editions of The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit and Silmarillion? I would like to hear what you think about that. It looks really good, and it looks like a unique edition to have. Although it's bound in paper, but yeah, that's my best bet so far, I believe. But if you know of any other publisher that has put out Tolkien's book, then please tell me also in the comments. I would love to know. Otherwise, I will wait for the future and hope to get something really exciting that really will satisfy my Tolkien needs without costing way too much money. But that was all. What do you think of the Tolkien HarperCollins Deluxe editions? Please tell me that as well. Other than that, I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to thank my patrons and my YouTube members for supporting me. And I want to give a special thank you to Shane Sherbert for the support as a Bibliophile team member here on YouTube. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.